I'm joined by Elisabeth Kendall. She's a Senior Research Fellow in Arabic and Islamic Studies at Oxford University. Thank you for being with us on France 24. Now, first of all, following these really difficult efforts by the UN envoy, Martin Griffiths, both sides are finally set to sit down and talk. What for you are the potential stumbling blocks?
Well, we've already overcome the major stumbling block, which is that the Houthi rebel delegation might not turn up, because that, of course, is what happened in September when an attempt was made at talks in Geneva and the Houthis failed to turn up. The talks didn't go ahead. So one major stumbling block out of the way already. What I think will now be the stumbling blocks are these peace talks actually going to move beyond just confidence building measures to something that approaches a framework for peace? That might be difficult because right now there is zero trust between the two main warring sides. The UN Special Envoy, Martin Griffiths, actually had to accompany the Houthi delegation on their plane to Sweden because they were afraid of going over Saudi airspace without some kind of assurance. That's how low the trust is. But I think we can probably expect maybe three outcomes from these talks. The first will be more confidence-building measures, things like perhaps the details of a prisoner exchange, perhaps opening access to Sana'a airport, and then hopefully the second level will be moving on to tackle very urgent issues that are not exactly peace, but that will help lay the path to peace. And that would be things like trying to agree secure routes for humanitarian access and maybe a ceasefire. And then finally, I think we must hope for a framework that will lay out a roadmap for more comprehensive peace talks. That is not on the cards at the moment. More comprehensive peace talks that involve many warring sides are not on the cards. But perhaps a roadmap that gets us there might be.
Now, Saudi Arabia does seem much more impatient to end this war than it has been previously, certainly more than at the last attempt at peace talks. Do you think this is linked to the international outrage over the killing of the journalist Jamal Khashoggi?
It's difficult not to link the two events. Saudi Arabia has got somehow to regain some of the credibility that it's lost. It's come under very, very harsh criticism by the international community, no less than by the senators in the United States last night, who pretty much said that the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was behind the Khashoggi murder. And we've also had similar reactions around Europe. Germany said it was suspending weapons sales to Saudi Arabia. Denmark followed, so did Finland. And we already have that from the Netherlands and Norway. So there is a lot of international pressure, much of it driven by the outrage over the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. So everyone really wants these peace talks to lead somewhere tangible this time round.
Elisabeth Kendall at Oxford University, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.